Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you and the ranking member for accommodating my request to sit in today, and thank the witnesses for being here and for your service. I specifically wanted to come here today because I represent South Florida area that is served by the United States District Court for the Southern District of Florida, and I am assuming that some of you are familiar with that situation. The district is one of the largest federal judicial districts in the country. It spreads across 15,000 square miles, reaching from Vero Beach in the north to Key West in the south. Its jurisdiction over federal and civil criminal issues arising in South Florida, serving 6.3 million people from 9 counties. In 2013, 8,000 civil cases were filed, making it one of the busiest jurisdictions in the country. Its central courthouse, and the only one in Broward County, is located in Fort Lauderdale, and that's the one I want to talk about. It was built 40 years ago, obviously before 9/11, and so it has quite a few security issues. It also has the plague of South Florida mold, roof leaks, flooding, and so forth. In 2015, the Judicial Conference of the United States, which I'm sure Judge Smith knows, named Fort Lauderdale Federal Courthouse as most in need of replacement in the country and urged a feasibility report. Our committee, the Transportation Committee, did pass a resolution, and we ask that we receive a feasibility report by September. But we haven't received it yet. We have a preliminary. We don't have the final. I'm just wondering where it is.
GSA is committed to addressing the space needs of the courts in Fort Lauderdale. As part of our process over the past few months, we've actually conducted a detailed feasibility study to get a more detailed estimate of the costs associated with various options. We've finished up that process, and we will be submitting the 11B report to the Hill in the coming weeks.
Okay, thank you. If I could get, maybe ask both of you, I wanted, if I could get a sense of, because I don't know what your report's going to say, but if I'm just for the purposes assume it will have a conclusion similar to the preliminary, which was a recommendation of a new facility. But let's say that is the recommendation, not to put words in your mouth. Where would Fort Lauderdale then be in the priority of this process? How many more courthouses are out there that need to be funded? Could you give me an idea?
Congresswoman Frankel, first of all, let me ascribe to everything that you have said relative to the current condition of the courthouse in Fort Lauderdale. Our committee actually visited there a number of years ago when we held a meeting nearby, and I personally visited the courthouse just a year ago and walked through it to observe its continuing deterioration. Fort Lauderdale needs a new courthouse, and as Commissioner Dong has indicated, the full-scale feasibility study should be completed sometime in the near future, at which point it will come to the attention of the Space and Facilities Committee. We will need to assess that specific project based not only on the feasibility study, but our AMP process, which requires us to take into account the urgency evaluation that Fort Lauderdale receives as part of that very objective process. As chair, as a member of the committee, I cannot, of course, commit to what the committee will do, but I can assure you that the committee is well aware of the need, will receive the feasibility study, will look very seriously and discuss how we should place and rank Fort Lauderdale. Because our CPP process that I referred to in my statement is new, it's only been in effect since last September's approval by the Judicial Conference, we have yet to deal with the addition of anything new on our list, but I can assure you it will receive very serious attention at our June meeting.
Does it get put back? Do all the courthouses that have been recommended or that are on your 5-year plan but have not yet been funded, will they be ahead of Fort Lauderdale, or does Fort Lauderdale, if they get a feasibility study that recommends a courthouse, will they all be considered equally?
Under the former 5-year plan, a new courthouse that is a venue that had received a feasibility study would have been placed at the bottom in the queue. That, however, is not required under the new process. Because we have not yet had to add, and because the committee has yet to develop a specific policy or protocol, I can't tell you how that will be resolved, but one of the reasons we adopted the new plan was so that we were not fixed with the previous process of simply adding someone to a new list. We'll be studying all alternatives, but I want to make it very clear the seriousness with which we regard Fort Lauderdale. I've seen the leaks. I've smelled the mold.
Yes.
I've seen the hurricane damage. You need a new courthouse.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I yield back.
Chair recognizes Ms. Comstock for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And